Few things in life are as comforting as a creamy plate of stroganoff, with those succulent cubes of meat in a pinkish sauce, served with fluffy white rice and that crispy shoestring potatoes. We don't even need to close our eyes to feel the smell and taste, do we? But here's the truth that might surprise you. The stroganoff you love, the one that's almost a hug in the form of food, wasn't born in Russia. At least, not the way we know it. And believe it or not, it was once an ultra-sophisticated dish, served only to the wealthiest nobility, with ingredients you'd never imagine putting in your pan. Come along as we uncover the complete history of stroganoff, from the Tsar's palace to your Sunday plate. It all starts with a name that is a true historical treasure, Stroganoff or Stroganov. This is the title of one of the most powerful and wealthy families in Russian history. They started as merchants in the 15th century, amassed a huge fortune from salt mines, and later became the sponsors of the Russian conquest of Siberia. By the 16th century, during the reign of Ivan the Terrible, the Stroganovs were already the richest commercial dynasty in the country, landowners, and advisors to the Tsars. They had palaces in St. Petersburg, some of the most luxurious residences of the time, and a very refined taste. To impress, the Russian nobility made a point of hiring the best chefs in Europe, especially the French. It was from this mixture of French influence and Russian ingredients that our stroganoff was born. There are several legends about the dish's origin, but the most accepted story is that of Charles Brière, a French chef who worked for the Stroganoff family in St. Petersburg. Count Grigory Stroganoff had dental problems and couldn't chew whole steaks. To solve this, Brière took a French classic, fricassee de boeuf, and made a brilliant adaptation. He cut the meat into thin strips, replaced the traditional sour cream with smetana, Russian sour cream, and added mustard for a tangy kick. The original recipe, published in the book A Gift to Young Housewives in 1871, was basically meat with mustard and sour cream, no onions, no mushrooms, and definitely no shoestring potatoes. The name Stroganoff was a direct tribute to the family that sponsored all that refinement. With the Russian Revolution of 1917, the nobility was expelled, many fled, and with them, they carried their precious recipes. That's how stroganoff arrived in China, through Russian exiles in Shanghai. And it was there that Americans, who had business in the city, tried the dish for the first time. When they returned to the United States, the craze began. The Russian Tea Room in New York was one of the main responsible for popularizing the recipe in the 1930s. In China and France, the dish gained the addition of mushrooms, and in the United States, ketchup entered the scene to give it that color and sweetness. It was a true gastronomic journey. Arriving in Brazil, stroganoff fell in love with our palate and was never the same again. Here, the dish stopped being just a sour and tangy cream to become a symbol of affection and togetherness. What did Brazilians do differently? First, they swapped smetana, sour cream, for our beloved table cream, which is much milder. Then, they added generous amounts of ketchup and mustard, creating that unmistakable pinkish sauce. And of course, we can't forget the dynamic duo that accompanies it, the fluffy white rice and the crispy shoestring potatoes. This combination is 100% Brazilian and, believe it or not, doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. In the 1960s and 1970s, having stroganoff for dinner was synonymous with luxury and sophistication in Brazilian homes, a party dish that showed the cook had really gone the extra mile. Today, stroganoff is the queen of lunchboxes, the king of Sunday lunches, and the star of pay-per-kilo restaurants. And it doesn't stop there. We created versions with chicken, shrimp, heart of palm, and even the famous Brigadeiro Stroganoff. Yes, it exists. The favorite dish of stars. Did you know that stroganoff is the favorite dish of our Olympic medalist, Rebeca Andrade? During an interview, she revealed this passion, and of course, the whole internet agreed. It's truly a gold medal dish. The biggest consumer, even though the Brazilian version is unique, the dish is a worldwide phenomenon. In the United States, it was super popular in the 50s and 60s, and today it's experiencing a revival in restaurants. But the country that consumes the most variations of stroganoff is Russia, the motherland, closely followed by the United States and Brazil. Variations around the world. In Russia, the original is still served with boiled potatoes or mashed potatoes, never with rice. In China, you'll find versions with sweet and sour sauce and pepper. In Sweden, the dish is called köttbullar, meatballs, and is served with lingonberry jam. Technical curiosities. The original recipe didn't use wheat flour, relying only on the reduction of the broth to thicken. The process of flambeing the meat with cognac, or vodka, in Russia, isn't just for show. It adds a layer of flavor and complexity to the sauce that is simply divine. So, the next time you prepare or savor a stroganoff, remember, you're not just eating a dish. You're tasting almost 200 years of history that united French technique, Russian wealth, Chinese adaptation, American innovation, and finally, the definitive, final touch of our Brazilian palate. It is living proof that the best food is the one that travels, adapts, and wins people's hearts. Now I want to know from you, what's your favorite version? Beef, chicken, or shrimp? And most importantly, is stroganoff eaten with crispy shoestring potatoes or with French fries? Tell us in the comments and let's see who wins this debate. If you enjoyed this creamy and flavorful story, hit that like button to help the channel grow. And if you're not subscribed yet, subscribe now and ring the bell because every week a new story is coming out of the kitchen. See you on the next plate.